I've noticed here and in many places something that I think I have to remind, and also maybe some people don't know, and something that is very important that a lot of people don't notice as a small thing. I don't like calling it religious objects, but in Kedusha, in holiness, every part of what we use has different levels of Kedusha. Tefillin, for example, is very holy. Sefer Torah, the holiest. I'm talking about what we have. Talit, Sidur, and so forth. One can call it as hierarchy in the levels of Kedusha. And next to all of these holy objects, or articles, items, there's certain things that we're allowed to do and not allowed to do. And I noticed that around holy objects, many people either they don't know or they don't realize the little details what one is allowed and not allowed to do. So for example, if we go from the highest to the lowest, next to a Sefer Torah, you can't talk mundane talk next to a Sefer Torah. You can't make jokes and mockery next to a Sefer Torah. I'm not even talking about Lashon Hara. Now, there's also a certain type of behavior that is extremely inappropriate next to a Sefer Torah, raising your voice, arguing, and so forth, which I see it happening in many times, and screaming and all sorts of stuff like that. I know it might sound not so appropriate, but next to a Sefer Torah, you're not allowed to release air from different places, not from above, not from below. That's the same thing when you wear tefillin. A lot of people don't know that. While you have tefillin on you, you're not allowed to release gas, as they say. It's not appropriate. And if you need to, you have to take the tefillin off. And of course, as the Kedusha goes down, then there's less thing that you need to be particular. When you have tefillin on your head, you're not allowed to talk any words that is not prayer or Torah when you have tefillin on your head. You have tefillin on your head and your hand, same thing. You can only pray, only say words of Torah. You can't start chatting. People start having conversations with tefillin in there. That's a disgrace to the tefillin. And the tefillin is here to help you, elevate you, and take you to a higher level. You cannot disgrace the kavod, the honor, and the power of the tefillin. And then the same thing as it goes down. For example, a talit is considered less holy than tefillin. You can't sit on your talit. You can't drag the talit on the floor. You can't throw it on the floor. And all sorts of things like that. And a lot of people don't notice that. They sit on a chair. And again, nothing that I'm saying is to hurt anybody's feelings. It's just to educate people. Many people sit on the chair with the talit and the tzitzit falls on the floor. And that's not appropriate. It's actually called bizayon la mitzvah. It's a disgrace to the mitzvah. So you sit, then fold the talit and sit it on you. That's why many don't sit when they pray. They stand up. So there shouldn't be, chas v'shalom, the problem of that. Besides that, this is a completely different thing that maybe one time we'll learn about it. While you pray, the tzitziot have to be falling from above to below. This is already talking about teachings of Kabbalah. Has to be amshacha milemala lemata, continuation of flow from above to below. And when you sit, the tzitziot are kind of not vertical, rather horizontal or a mess. And then, of course, it will continue going from there to books. I see many people, unfortunately, they put their phone on a book. I'm not talking about a book. I'm not talking about Harry Potter. I'm talking about a book that we learn Torah from. So, and that also has a hierarchy. When we're looking through the Tanakh, then the Torah, the 5 books, this is the highest of all. And then will come the Nevi'im, the prophets, and the Nektuvim, the scripts. So if you need to pile books, for example, let's say here is a perfect example. Here's a Sefer Bamidbar. This is from the 5 books. And here's a Sidur. You cannot put the Sidur on the Chumash because the Kedusha is higher than the Chumash. The Chumash has to be on the Sidur. And then it will go by the hierarchy. Chumash, which means from the 5 books, is the highest. And then you have, for example, these are Sefer Yoshua and Tehillim. So you have here from prophets and scripts that will be underneath, and the Sidur will be in the bottom. Although some say that if the Sidur has what you have, the Kriya, the reading for Monday and Thursday for the Torah, then it has already Torah in it, then it will change its status. So, and this is in between books. And of course, if you have a book of stories of tzaddikim, then that should be all the way in the bottom. And this all continues. There's a lot of halachot in that. I just want to bring you the awareness, because I see a lot of times people put their glasses on a book, put their phone on the book, put their keys on the book. And again, when I'm saying a book, I'm not talking about a book that you read kids. I'm talking about books that we use for prayer books, for teaching us Torah and so forth. There's another thing, and again, there's a lot of halachot in it. I just want to bring you attention in things that I see. Here's another thing. I see many times people, where they take the box of the tefillin, that the box of the tefillin is very nice, and they put it on the siddur. The siddur is not a place to put the box of the tefillin on, again, because of the hierarchy of the kedusha. So it would be not considered appropriate to put anything on the prayer book. Another thing that I see is people putting the prayer books and books on chairs. It's also not appropriate. Excuse my way of I express myself, but your tuchus is on the chair. You're behind. It's not appropriate to put a book that you pray from on the chair you sit on. If there's a bench that a few people are sitting, you cannot put a book in the same height level of somebody else sitting. And again, not appropriate. I see sometimes people standing on tables, not appropriate. And again, there's many things. Either you learn the halakha or just use your common sense. Many times that I see is people, they make a tower with books like that. I don't know if the camera can see it. The tower is like that. Why? So they can lean the book on them. This is also not appropriate. The books are not how do you call it? Mishenet. You use one of these, like how do you call it? A stender. So all these little things one should be very appropriate with. Again, many people, they have a prayer book in their room, because in the morning they want to maybe say the morning prayers. At night they say Kriyat Shema Lamita. You can't get undressed next to prayer books or books of Torah. And when I'm saying a book of Torah, I'm not talking about a Sefer Torah. That's not even a question. But Chumash, book of Halacha, whatever it is, one cannot be undressed next to that. First of all, off the subject, you can't walk around in the house naked anyways. If you are getting undressed, it's either in the bathroom, where this is considered a place where one can be immodest, or you get dressed under a cover. You can't just get your clothes off and walk around the room like Homer Simpson with underwears. So it's not appropriate. I knew you were going to laugh. That's why I said that. But it's not appropriate. HaKadosh Baruch Hu lo chol haaretz kevodo. You dress modestly. So same thing. You have prayer books in your room. You cannot get yourself undressed in front of the prayer book. I don't even have to say, maybe I should. One should not even take any type of a Torah book into the bathroom. Totally not appropriate. And even forbidden completely. You can't even read words of Torah. I can't even think of Torah in the bathroom. So the point what we want to take on ourselves today, when I consider small things but big things, is the kedusha and the holiness of things that we use. A kiddush cup cannot be in the bathroom. A mezuzah, you take it off the wall, you take it from one place to another, also has to be treated with high respect. And all these things, that's why things of religious articles, we can't throw them to the garbage, they have to go to be buried. It's called gniza, or in English, in Yiddish maybe shmeis, shemes, however it's pronounced. The point is that you need to understand that the object, I call it objects now, but anything that has kedusha in it, that is around me, has a certain level of kedusha, and how am I conducting it, and what type of honor do I give these objects. I see sometimes people walk into the Beit Knesset, to the shul with their tefillin, boom, throw it on the table like as if it's a bag of potatoes. This is a very holy thing. You don't throw it on the table. And things, for example, like tefillin and anything else, you can't put anything on its face. Sometimes people put the prayer books on their face. This is called the face. This is the face of the book, the back of the book. Even worse, I see people put the tefillin on their face. People put things on the tefillin. This is not something to put on. Sometimes people put their siddur on the tefillin because they need it higher. Get glasses. Don't put it on the tefillin. I'm sorry if I sound not nice, but do something else. You can't put things on the tefillin when you're not using them. And of course, this goes on and on and on. I suggest if you're not so knowledgeable of that, open Kitzur Shulchan Aruch and learn all these laws. You don't have to go to the Shulchan Aruch for that. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch is fine, it will teach you. And the same thing with everything. You can already, now I gave the base, you use the common sense. How you put things in the bookshelf. What you put next to the bookshelf. On a bookshelf where you have Sifrei Torah, books of learning Torah, not a Sefer Torah. You can put all sorts of, how do you call it? That's for sure, secular books. I was more talking about, some people put, like decorations and all sorts of stuff like that. Candles, Shabbat candles, that's already fine. A shofar, fine. And some people put also nonsense. And things that are not appropriate, put it on a different bookshelf. It's not appropriate with books that you learn Torah from. So again, not to drill it too deep, either learn the halachot or use your common sense. How you put things, it can be on the table, on bookshelves, in your room. Certain things are not appropriate in your room. In your bedroom I'm talking, because it's not appropriate. Where you put certain pictures, what type of pictures, and so forth. And again, keep the Kedusha, honor the Kedusha, the holiness of things that serve me to get closer to Hashem. As I'm saying, in many cases, use your common sense. You can't take anything that has some type of a Kedusha into the bathroom. Can't have the bathroom open. Sometimes people leave the bathroom door open. You can't say words of Kedusha when the bathroom is open. It's a place of filth and a place of immodesty and impurity. So the point to take from that is to, whatever is holy, holy in Hebrew is kadosh. Kadosh means separated. So we have to give the right honor, the right respect to holy objects. And if you're not aware, ask, learn, and investigate that you chas v'shalom should not disgrace in any way anything that helps us get close to the Kadosh Baruch Hu.